An applet is a Java program designed to be executed by a web browser. The name of the class file is included in the HTML, so it's loaded from the server into the browser, instantiated into an object, and run. The main line of the applet is inside the browser, and the applet must be written so it interfaces properly with that main line. That's why we have methods named init, start, stop, update, and paint. Just a few minor changes to our existing no-flicker canvas turns it into a no-flicker applet. Now this class extends the applet class instead of the canvas class. An applet is very much like a canvas, but it has the fundamental difference of being loadable by a web browser. Now this is an animated applet, so it implements the runnable interface just like our two previous examples. This is so it can be executed as a thread, that is, it has a run method. The first thing you might notice is that this class has no constructor. You can have one if you want to include one, but it isn't necessary. In an applet, the init method is called first by the browser, so you might just as well put all your initializations there. You're not required to have an init method, actually, but almost all applets do. One thing you're not allowed to do is set the size of the window. That is done by the browser, and you find what the size is by calling the method getBounds. And those are all the differences. Everything else is the same. When the browser loads the class and creates the object, it first calls the init method. Then it calls the start method. In fact, it may call start and stop several times as the applet window moves in and out of view. Or it may just call it once. That's up to the browser. The web browser allocates a window, and whenever it wants to paint that window, it creates a graphics object and calls the paint method of the applet. This can happen any time during the life of the applet. Inside your applet, when you call the repaint method, the browser creates a graphics object and calls update. This happens only when you request it. You should be aware that multiple calls to repaint are all resolved by a single call to update, so you can call repaint as many times as you want. Now, for a browser to load an applet, the applet tag must be included as part of the HTML. Here's an example of an HTML file that works for our no-flicker applet. As you can see, the tag spells out the complete name of the applet file and also specifies the height and width of the window. There's some other stuff that's optional, but this form works for just about every case. Because of the way an applet is structured, it can only be run inside a web browser that has Java installed. Fortunately, Sun provides a program that allows you to view applets without bothering with a web browser. You just point it at the HTML, and it works, like this. The applet viewer loads the HTML, finds the applet tags, opens a window for each applet tag that it finds, and throws everything else away. The applet viewer can't even talk over the internet. It's just for looking at applets and nothing else. It does, however, perform a very stringent test on the HTML tag and lets you know if anything is out of standard.